we have. I don't know. Did you guys know about this? That there's gonna be a American Death Note film?
I do now.
Yeah.
I think that's basically
So-
how I
Sure.
reacted to it, where it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
I
wait.
don't know how I didn't know about this. Like, I think maybe I heard a rumor about it, but I didn't.
It's got to be one of those things where, like, that was announced around the same time as the Ghost in the Shell movie and the Cowboy Bebop movie, and we just thought all of them got canceled. But the Ghost in the Shell movie's happening, too.
Well, yeah, and the other thing, too, is there is a live action of Death Note, which I've actually
already
seen on
exists.
TV, but it's, it was actually made in Japan. So maybe when I heard the news, I was like, why are they referencing that? Or maybe they're making a sequel in Japan or something. I don't know. But I didn't realize there's actually an American-made movie that now has a director and a scriptwriter.
Right.
Who are those people?
So, our director is Adam Wingard. He directed The Guest and You're Next, which are 2 horror films.
Your Next was supposed to be really good.
Yeah, I
It
haven't.
was like Cabin in the Woods level, like, people went in expecting a dumb horror movie, and it was really smart and cool.
Interesting. So I haven't seen either of these. I just kind of read the premise. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense to have a horror film director, but at the same time, it's
Yeah.
more of a thriller and like a
Sure,
mystery.
it's very tense. Like,
than
it
it
has
is-
elements of darkness in it.
Yeah, the style is very dark.
Like,
It's
his,
super
oh
dark,
gosh, I wish I
but-
remembered more about Death Note, but his, like, tall, lanky demon.
Ryuk.
Yeah,
Shinigami,
Ryuk was
yeah.
awesome. He's terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a horror director can probably bring that dude to life better than the atrocious looking Ryuk and the weird live action Death Note movie where he's a CG monster man.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That was weird.
So
And I didn't
strange.
understand. I only caught like the movie halfway through, but the second half just seemed so convoluted. I couldn't tell what the heck was going
Kind of like
on.
the book.
So yeah, there you go. And so I'm curious to know how they're going to. I think Miranda, you mentioned it before we started recording. It's like, how are you going to fit everything about Death Note into 2 hours?
Yeah, and I wonder if they're gonna leave room for like a
Well,
sequel or something. Because
Oh, they've
I mean,
got to.
Did they actually
There's-
say what it's about, though? Like,
they haven't actually.
so it could
released,
be
the
like,
premise.
it
I
could
mean,
even be like a spin-off, right? Like, it could be some
Right.
kind of like, I don't know, sequel story or something like that,
I
too.
don't think there's any
I
way they
don't
skip
think-
over the Kira Ryuk
Right, yeah.
characters. They've
Yeah, I
gotta
don't
use
think they
them.
could skip that part. I think maybe that they could do is end it. Like, there's a really good like ending point in Death Note where
Sure.
they could have just cut it off, but
Yeah.
they kept going.
Then they kept going.
Yeah,
They did
everyone
that.
doesn't like the kept going part, and people aren't much of a fan of that. I mean, I liked it, all right, but main protagonist, antagonist people will probably be the focus. I think the most interesting thing here, though, is how are they going to adapt it for American audience? Like, do they think like that's what I'm curious about.
There's a lot of like
casting and-
culturally specific Japanese stuff in
Sure.
that book that you could probably approximate pretty well, but I don't know. I'm of the mind that like a lot of concerns about whitewashing anime stuff and manga into American movies, like, yeah, it's weird that we'll probably have a character named Kusanagi who is Scarlett Johansson. Like, that's definitely weird. Like, at
Yeah.
that point, like, just change her name. Just
Yeah, I mean,
make
change your
her a
name.
different named detective. It's still Ghost in the Shell. Like, you are creating the world. You don't need to replicate the exact characters in the exact setting. Like, it doesn't need to be Scarlett Johansson as Kusanagi in like a weird futuristic Tokyo. You can Americanize it. You can adapt it. Like, that's what it is. It's an adaptation. And if done
Right.
well, it would be awesome.
Right. It's like I don't think there's a problem with having really strong adaptations. Like, there's a Sailor Moon live action, which is very different from the manga and very different from the anime, but it's done so well.
Cool.
You're not talking
And
about like the one that was canceled with Alicia Silverstone, are you?
No, like the Japanese.
Oh, the
live action.
Japanese
They
one.
actually-
ones.
Oh, you didn't know about that?
No.
So in the 90s, they actually were going to make a Sailor Moon action movie, and they apparently cast Alicia Silverstone as Serena, as Sailor Moon, and then supposedly, this is just what I remember, Gina Davis might have been
What?
set up for Queen Beryl.
Who was gonna be Tuxedo Mask?
I have no
It would
idea.
have been like
Mystery.
DiCaprio.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my
Nah,
god.
I don't know. Maybe that would be too big of an
That'd be
actor,
so
because this
good.
was around the time of Titanic. I think he was too big of an actor for that, but I would be very curious to
Nobody
know.
is too good for Tuxedo Mask.
I'm not arguing.
Mitch, your face.
I am in awe.
Yeah,
I learned something today.
Yes, you did. But my concern is this going to end up in developer hell like Akira
And Cowboy Bebop.
and Cowboy Bebop, where it's like, like, and I'm worried that, are these anime fans, are they going to treat the source material right? Because I didn't know this until this morning, until I looked it up, but apparently the director attached to Akira was even saying that he doesn't think the characters are very interesting or that Japanese animation has very good stories and characters. And I was like, oh,
What a
that-
goober.
It's like, why are you doing? Why would you
why
want to
are
do
you
that?
trashing
That's
your
like Tim Burton
own
going
movie?
like, you know what? I don't really like Batman comics. Never read them. So what are you doing here?
Yeah, so I'm really hoping that these are people who are passionate about Death Note or passionate about anime or respect the source material, because you do have to adjust it for Western audiences, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to lose the heart and soul of what Death Note is.
Right. And so we have the scriptwriter, who is Jeremy Slater, who actually hasn't written much. He wrote one film, and he also wrote the Fantastic Four reboot. So
Which reboot? The new one?
the new one, the
Okay.
newest one.
So that's interesting because he's
Yeah.
adapting this goofy like 1930s super squad story into a modern era in a way that, for me, like seeing the new trailer really made me go like, oh, they're doing really cool new stuff with Fantastic Four. So like that's exciting all of a sudden.
Yeah, so I think there's potential here. Obviously, always tread with caution. Like, just hope that it's good. Also, now I really want to see Fantastic Four just to see how the writing goes. It's like that. No, I don't.
You're gonna be
care.
sitting there judging the whole.
Yeah.
Just taking notes.
I don't care about Fantastic Four at all. Like, I don't care about their comics.
love Ben Grimm?
I didn't like the other movie at all. But that was,
You mean where the Shield
bad.
played the thing?
yeah. It was... Anyway.
Why do you
my
always give me that
brain.
look?
No, because my brain can't handle it.
I can't speak to anything. The last super comic movie I saw was Guardians of the Galaxy, which I loved, by the way, but I'm not a huge comic books person, so I can only speak of like Daredevil and Guardians of the Galaxy and Arrow. Like, I feel kind of bad.
You
It's
should
like,
watch Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
It's basically a spy movie starring Captain America.
I'm okay with that.
It was
awesome.
good.
I will watch that. I will make that a homework assignment. I will write that down right now.
Yeah, so I guess we will see where that film goes. Hopefully we get... I'm really interested to see how they cast. I think it'll be a big
Yeah.
indicator in how they tone the movie and like how they
Yeah.
want to adapt
Like
it.
which weirdo do you cast as L for that
Yeah.
movie?
So
Well,
excited.
Yeah.
I don't think that's too hard. I really think whatever they pick as their premise is just going to basically shape the whole thing.
Absolutely. So hopefully we see some good things out of that.
Who would you cast for L?
That weird guy Rich from the Silicon Valley show. He's just stammering and he's weird and he's awkward. It's kind of like L.
Yeah, in the beginning. Yeah. Cool.